The Galactic Council Chamber was the largest structure in the galaxy, floating in deep space at the heart of the Orion cluster. It shimmered with glowing walls of glass and metal. Delegates from 100 different alien species filled the room, speaking in many voices, some sharp, some deep, some strange. They laughed, whispered, or simply stared with curiosity. At the center stood a single human, tall, calm, and still, James Ward, Earth's ambassador. Dressed in a simple black uniform with a silver stripe on the collar, James stood before the council with his hands behind his back. A loud, echoing voice cut through the noise. Chancellor Korvax of the Tharnax Empire leaned forward from his seat, his 4 golden eyes narrowing. "Well, what brings Terra Prime to speak in front of the council today?" Korvax asked with a sneer. James looked around the room. "Earth has grown. We are not the same species you once ignored." More laughter erupted. A green-skinned ambassador from Velcor 9 pounded the table, laughing so hard his tentacles shook. "You've developed a few toys, human," Korvax said mockingly. "But you're still just Earth. Loud, emotional, and primitive." James's voice remained steady. "This is a warning, not a request. Do not send ships near Earth's borders. Stay out of our solar system." Gasps followed. Some delegates looked confused. Others smirked. Korvax rose from his seat. "Are you threatening the council?" "No," James replied calmly. "I'm informing you." The laughter stopped. James turned and walked out without another word. The chamber fell silent. Back on Terra Prime, Earth's new name since its rebirth. After the great solar flare of 2220, James stepped into a sleek hovercraft. The skies above were protected by transparent defense domes that shimmered like crystal. Cities rose high, glowing with clean energy. James pressed a button on his wristband. "Centra, update me." A calm female voice answered. "The Tharnax Empire has deployed a scout fleet, 10 ships, entering warning zone in 12 hours. James closed his eyes for a moment. "Activate protocol Black Ice." "Confirmed," Centra replied. Years ago, Earth had been weak, poor, divided. Then the solar flare changed everything. Satellites went down, systems crashed. But from that disaster, a new world rose. Humanity united. They created quantum AIs, weapons that didn't fire bullets, but bent energy, shields that turned fleets into dust. And Centra, Earth's main defense brain, ran it all. James stood at the edge of the Earth's defense center watching the stars. "They laughed," he said softly. "Let's see how long they keep laughing." In the cold of space, the Tharnax fleet crept closer. 10 warships, fully armed. They didn't know what waited for them. But Earth was ready. The stars were quiet. 10 Tharnax warships moved slowly toward Earth's solar system. Their hulls were covered in black plating, sharp like knives. Inside, the alien commanders were confident. Earth was just a small blue planet, and this mission was supposed to be easy. "Target within range," one of the Tharnax officers said. His voice was rough, like sand scraping metal. "Prepare for entry," ordered the fleet commander. "Let's teach these humans not to speak above their place." But just as they crossed into the warning zone, marked by invisible energy beacons hidden in deep space, everything went wrong. Without a sound, the ships began to shut down. Lights flickered, engines failed, control panels sparked. "What's happening?" the commander shouted. The view screens showed strange white lines crawling across the ships like spider webs. The Tharnax fleet tried to respond, but their weapons didn't work. Their shields were gone. Even life support started to fail. Back on Earth, inside the Defense Command Tower, James stood in front of a large screen, showing the entire operation. "Status?" he asked. "Centra, Earth's AI," answered in a calm voice. "All 10 ships disabled. No casualties. They've been neutralized using the black ice field. Energy cores frozen. Command links severed." "Good," James said. "Let them drift. Send rescue drones in 6 hours. Let them sit in silence." "Yes, Ambassador," Centra replied. James turned to the others in the room. Scientists, officers, advisors. No one spoke. They had just watched Earth crush a powerful alien fleet without firing a single weapon. This wasn't just defense. This was dominance. On Tharnax Prime, Chancellor Korvax watched the live report from the scouts. The last visual before the ships went dark showed Earth's warning beacons activating, bright thin arcs of blue light forming a protective ring around the solar system. Korvax's fists clenched. His pride burned hotter than ever. 10 ships, lost, without a fight, he growled. Unacceptable. His advisors stood in silence. One of them, an older alien with green scales, finally spoke. Maybe we should speak with them. This technology is far beyond our records. Korvax snapped. No, I will not be shown up by humans. Prepare the second fleet, 50 warships. Chancellor, if I may. Silence. Korvax roared. I warned that human. Now I'll show him what happens when you embarrass the Tharnax Empire. Back on Earth, James stood on the roof of the command tower, looking out at the stars again. The first test was over. More would come. He knew Korvax wouldn't stop. But neither would Earth. He tapped his wristband and recorded a short message. To the Galactic Council, he said. We did not ask for war. We only asked for space. You laughed at our warning. We will not ask again. He paused. Let them come. He ended the message and sent it. The stars blinked quietly above him. But soon, they would burn with fire. Space shimmered with the glow of incoming ships. The Tharnax Second Fleet, a force of 50 warships, moved with deadly precision. Their ships were larger than before, heavily armored, with long wings that crackled with weapon energy. From orbit they looked like a swarm of dark knives, slicing through space. They were here for one reason: to conquer Earth. Inside the command ship, Chancellor Korvax stood at the center of a large war room. Dozens of officers worked around him, but all stayed quiet. He was angry, focused, and full of pride. They think they can embarrass us and survive, Korvax said. We will land on their soil and drag their leaders to my feet. A screen showed Earth glowing in the distance. Its blue oceans and green lands looked calm, peaceful, but Korvax knew that peace could be broken. On Earth, James Ward reviewed reports. Inside the Global Defense Hub, the room was underground, hidden beneath a mountain, shielded with energy walls and thick layers of steel. Around him holograms floated, maps, ship movement logs, and enemy projections. 50 ships, General Elena Frost said. She stood beside James, arms crossed. This is it, James nodded. This is the moment Earth becomes something more, or disappears. He turned to Centra, Earth's defense AI. Status of Operation Mirrorblade, he asked. Centra's voice was soft but clear. Fully active, stealth satellites in place. Solar lance charging, drone fleets ready for launch. James took a deep breath. Then we hold the line. Operation Mirrorblade was Earth's secret defense network, built over decades. Thousands of drones were hidden in asteroids and space dust, programmed to strike without warning. Artificial moons held powerful plasma weapons. And the solar lance, Earth's strongest weapon, was being charged deep inside the sun's orbit, drawing raw energy from solar storms. Every part of the plan was meant to surprise the enemy, strike fast, and disappear before they could react. Far beyond Earth, news spread quickly. Alien species watched from hidden satellites. Other empires waited in silence, curious to see what Earth would do. Some doubted Earth could win. Others hoped Earth would survive. One private message reached James from the Arvani Union. If you survive this, we propose peace, technology exchange, and support. James didn't answer it yet. Meanwhile, Earth's citizens prepared. Cities moved into lockdown. Defense shields rose into the sky like transparent domes. Children were sent to underground shelters. Streets emptied. Silence fell across the planet, but no one panicked. They trusted their leaders. They trusted James, and they trusted Earth's new strength. In space, Korvax sent a final message to Earth. His giant face appeared in the sky above every city. I give you one chance, he declared. Bow, surrender, and maybe I will spare your planet. The voice was loud, cold, and full of pride. James stood in the Earth Command Center, watching the message finish. He stepped forward to the response console. His face appeared across all of Earth, and on Korvax's screen. "We warned you once," James said simply. Then the screen went black. Above Earth, weapons began to charge. And in deep space, Earth's hidden weapons turned toward the enemy. The war was about to begin. The darkness of space lit up with war. The Tharnax Second Fleet had reached the edge of Earth's warning zone. 50 warships, fully armed and ready, floated just beyond the invisible boundary. Inside their lead ship, Chancellor Korvax stood with a cruel smile. "They didn't answer with fear," he said, "so we answer with fire." He raised his hand. "Begin the invasion." But the moment the fleet crossed the line, the shadows of space moved. Dozens of Earth's stealth drones, small, black, and deadly, came to life. Hidden behind asteroids and ice fragments, they struck like ghosts. They tore through Tharnax scout ships, cutting off their sensors and jamming communications. The Tharnax ships returned fire, but they hit nothing. The drones were already gone, replaced by more, silent, fast, and sharp. Inside Earth's command center, James watched the battle unfold from a large screen. The room glowed with red and blue lights. Officers worked quickly, tracking every move. Phase 1 complete, Center reported. Enemy scout lines destroyed. No human casualties. James nodded. Send Phase 2. Hit their supply lines. While the main fleet moved toward Earth, something unexpected happened. On 3 nearby moons and an orbiting Tharnax fuel station, explosions broke out. Earth's Black Ops teams, elite AI-guided attack units, had already sabotaged the supply routes before the war began. Now the Tharnax fleet was blind, low on fuel, and unable to resupply. Korvax's smile faded. "How did they know?" he shouted. "How did they get there first?" His officers gave no answer. This wasn't just defense, this was a trap. Back on Earth, not everyone was confident. In the Global Peace Council meeting, several leaders were nervous. "We should talk to them," said one. "Offer peace before this becomes a massacre." "They won't stop," General Frost said. "Korvax wants to break us. We can't risk our people," another argued. "There must be a deal." James stood up. "No deal," he said. His voice was steady. "We don't fight to win. We fight so they never try this again." Meanwhile, alien empires across the galaxy watched in silence. Some were impressed, others were afraid. A few began cutting ties with the Tharnax Empire, quietly preparing to switch sides. A second message came to James from the Arvani Union. "You have our support. Let us know how we can help." Still, James gave no reply. Not yet. As the Tharnax fleet approached Earth, its front lines met the first true defense, Earth's orbital blade network. These were Earth's hidden satellites, built with razor-thin energy shields and plasma spears that sliced through metal like paper. Ship after ship fell. Tharnax pilots screamed through comms before their signals went silent. Some ships tried to retreat, but more drones were waiting behind them. Korvax stood frozen. "We underestimated them," one of his officers whispered. "No," Korvax said quietly. "We insulted them." In the sky above Earth, bright streaks began to fall, burning wreckage from Tharnax ships that had exploded in orbit. Citizens watched from inside safe domes. They didn't cheer, they didn't cry, they waited. Because it wasn't over yet. The main fleet still had weapons, still had power, but now, Earth had their attention. Inside the Earth Defense Center, Centra gave a final alert. Enemy preparing full strike. All warships now locked on Terra Prime. Solar Lance status, charging at 87%. James stared at the screen. "This is it," he said. "No turning back." He raised his hand and gave the final order. "Let them burn." The sky above Earth turned red. The Tharnax Second Fleet had reached firing range. The remaining ships formed a tight battle line. Their weapons glowed with raw energy, charging for a full strike. Inside the lead warship, Chancellor Korvax clenched his fists. All ships, he ordered. Target Earth's capital zones. Fire at will. But before a single shot left their cannons, Earth struck first. From deep space, Earth's final weapon came online. The solar lance, a weapon hidden near the sun, released its charge. It was a beam of pure solar energy, focused and deadly. It moved faster than light, invisible at first, until it hit. One moment, 5 Tharnax battleships were floating together. The next, they were gone, vaporized. Nothing left but dust. Inside Earth's defense center, the ground trembled slightly as the beam fired. On screen, enemy ships blinked out of existence. Centra's voice was calm. Solar lance hit confirmed. 5 ships destroyed. Shockwave spreading through enemy fleet. James didn't smile. He simply nodded. Target next group. Korvax stared at the destruction. He couldn't believe what he saw. Impossible, he whispered. That power, no world should have that. But Earth did, and they weren't finished. Earth's orbital blades activated again. Dozens of satellites formed a circle around the planet and began spinning. Blades of plasma sliced through enemy formations. Shields collapsed. Hulls split open. In less than 20 minutes, the mighty Tharnax Second Fleet was broken. Some ships exploded. Some ran. A few tried to send surrender signals, but they were too late. Korvax's flagship was damaged. Smoke filled the halls. Fire spread across the deck. His officers lay injured or dead. "We must retreat," his last pilot cried. "No," Korvax shouted. "I will not run from these apes." But another explosion rocked the ship. The lights died. The engines shut down. Korvax fell to his knees, coughing. His pride was shattered. He looked up at the emergency broadcast screen and made a choice. He pressed the button and sent a message to Earth. Inside Earth Command, Centra spoke. "Incoming transmission from Chancellor Korvax. It is a plea." James stepped forward. He nodded. "Play it." Korvax's face appeared on the screen. Bloody, beaten, eyes full of fear. "This is Chancellor Korvax, of the Tharnax Empire," he said slowly. "We surrender. Please, spare our remaining ships, we beg you." The room was silent. No one expected him to beg. James stepped in front of Earth's reply screen. He looked calm, but firm. He spoke to the galaxy, knowing every major power was watching. "You laughed at us," he said. "You mocked our warnings. Now you beg for mercy." He paused. "We are not monsters. We will not destroy what's left of your fleet. Go home, and remember what you've learned here." He ended the message. Across space, the war was over. The Galactic Council quickly released a statement. Earth had defended itself with honor. The Tharnax Empire was now weakened. Other empires began cutting ties. Many sent private messages to James offering peace, respect, and alliances. Earth, once mocked, was now feared and respected. The world had changed, and Terra Prime stood at the center of it. The war was over. The Tharnax fleet drifted in space, broken, silent, and defeated. Rescue ships from nearby systems arrived to collect survivors. No more shots were fired. No more orders were shouted. The proud empire that once ruled half the Orion sector had fallen silent. On Earth, the skies were clear. No more red flashes, no more fire. Cities opened again. Families came out from shelters. Life slowly returned to normal. But the world had changed forever. In the Earth Defense Command Center, James Ward stood before a large screen showing galactic news feeds. One by one, alien governments issued public statements. "We recognize Earth as a major power. We deeply regret not listening to Earth's warning. The Tharnax Empire must answer for its aggression." Messages flooded in, offers of peace, trade, and alliance. Earth was no longer seen as a young planet. It was now Terra Prime, a symbol of strength. Centra spoke softly. "Global alerts deactivated. All systems returning to normal." "You've done it, James." James didn't speak right away. He looked at the stars on the screen. Then he gave a small nod. "No, Earth did it. 3 days later, a special meeting of the Galactic Council was called. In the same chamber where James had once been laughed at, a new vote was held. The Council offered Earth a permanent seat, one of the highest honors in the galaxy, a seat at the table of power. But when the time came, Earth's response shocked them all. James stood before the Council once more, calm, steady. "We are honored by your offer," he said, "but we decline." Gasps filled the room. "We do not need a chair to prove our worth," James continued. "We only needed your respect. And now we have it." With that, he turned and left. The Council sat in silence. The seat meant for Earth remained empty, but it no longer mattered. Back on Earth, a celebration was held in the capital. Not a loud one, no fireworks, just quiet gatherings. Lights glowed softly across the cities. People hugged their families. Children played in the parks again, and above them the stars shone brighter than ever. James stood alone at the edge of the sky dome, looking up. General Elena Frost joined him. "It's finally over," she said. "For now," James replied. "But they'll remember." She smiled. "And if they forget, then we remind them," James said simply. "But this time they won't laugh." Later that night, James recorded one last message. It was sent across the galaxy, not as a threat, but as a promise. "To every world watching, Earth does not seek war, but we will never bow again. Let this be our last battle, and our first step toward true peace." The message was short, but it echoed far. In the days that followed, Earth began forming new bonds. New trade routes opened, shared technology grew. Former enemies became cautious allies. Terra Prime had risen, and no one would ever look down on it again.